All right, so I'm going to show you a quick little division review. We've been doing division and multiplication throughout the year, but sometimes we do need a refresher course. I gave a multiplication review video not too long ago. I'm going to do the same thing with division, so please use this. Some of you liked the DQ method and some of you liked the algorithm, so I'm going to show a couple of examples of both. Notice I've got 57 divided by 3. If you like DQ, remember I've told you about DQ, it doesn't matter what number you start with here. You could have picked something different than me as long as your journey ends with the same answer as I do. For example, some of you may have put a 10 here instead of a 12. Because remember, you're trying to get as close to 57 as possible. Some of you may even have picked a higher number than 12. All right, but let's say you did pick a 12. 3 times 12 is 36. I would have to subtract is 21. 3 times 7 gives me 21, so I don't have a remainder. 12 and 7 is 19. Okay, if you are an algorithm, remember 3 can go into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. I subtract, there's 2. I pull down that 7. What number times 3 gets me 27? 9 does. 9 times 3 is 27, no remainder. Okay, so again, DQ, algorithm. Here's another example. Bigger number here, 123 divided by 5. So again, this number you could choose differently than I do. That's okay, it just may take you more or less steps to get to the answer. I'm going to stick with 20. So 5 times 20 I know is 100. I subtract and get 23. I can multiply it again. 5 times 4 is 20. When I subtract, I'm left with my remainder, and 20 plus 4 is 24, remainder 3. Or if you like the algorithm, we know that 5 cannot go into 1, but I know that 5 can go into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. I subtract, I'm only pulling down the 2 and then the 3. This 123 now has changed to 23. So I'm no longer looking at this number, I'm looking at the 23. So what number times 5 gets me close to 23? 4 does. 4 times 5 is 20. I subtract, there's my remainder, 3. Again, DQ algorithm. Last example, I've got up here, bigger one, 547 divided by 4. Again, I want to get as close to 547 as possible, okay? I'm just going to start off real easy. Your number could be different than mine here, but I'm going to just stick with 100. 4 times 100 is 400. I subtract, I'm left with 147. 4 times 30 gives me 120. That's close, so I'm going to subtract, I'm left with 27. 4 times 6 gets me as close to 27 as possible by giving me 24. When I subtract, I have a 3. 130 and 6 is 136, remainder 3. Okay, so again, your number that you choose here could be different than mine. You could have more or less steps as long as you get the same thing as I do. If you're an algorithm, okay, a lot of steps here. We know that 4 can go into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. I subtract, I get 1. I'm only pulling down this 4. This is where a lot of kids will also pull down the 7. You're not ready for that yet. Only pull down this 4. Because remember, this is really 140. Okay, you've really changed this to a 140. All right, so once I've pulled just this number down, what number times 4 gets me close to this? 3 does. 3 times 4 is 12. I subtract is 2. Now I can pull down that last number, which is 7. What times 4 gets me close to 27? 6 does. 6 times 4 is 24. I subtract, remainder 3. Okay, so again, this is just a review. So if you need to use this video again to kind of walk you through how to do division and divide properly, then please do that when you do your assignment. Thanks.